where we rest, where we express ourselves, where we have neighbors, and it's also a place of protection. For the most part, well, live inside the city, right? And this is when you're in that place of praise, you come into a strong city, not just a city, a strong city. And it says here, salvation will God appoint us for walls and for bulwarks. See, this is not just a city, this is a city that has walls, that has protection around it. It's a protected city. And he said those walls and those bulwarks, the protection that he gives us, is salvation that he gives us. Now, some people think, well, I accepted Jesus as my Lord and personal Savior, and that's in the past, and that is incorrect, because the salvation of God is each and every day, every moment. He's keeping it. He keeps us from things that we don't know. We're running late, and we drive through, and then we saw an accident. But sometimes we don't even see the accident. It was something that God just totally got out of the way for us. So we see, we're saved, we're getting close to Jesus, and all of a sudden we start noticing my circumstances are changing for the better. My relationships are improving. And it's simply because, not because I'm improving them, but because as I get closer to God, everything has to conform to the image of Christ. So the more I become like Christ, the more everything has to conform to the image of Jesus Christ. So there's less quarrels with your family, there's less quarrels with your boss, there's less quarrels with the people you work with. Everything just starts to fall into place. And he's bringing you to that place of peace. We have a strong city. Salvation will God appoint for walls and for bulwarks. So in this city is what we enter into when we were praising God. All of a sudden we find there's lots of other people there. And the salvation, the protection that we have, the walls, is the very salvation that God gives us. Because salvation, like I said, is every day. It's not just for eternity. It's much more practical. It's for today. Today, tomorrow, the day after. He gives angels charge over us, to watch over us and take care of us, to help avoid problems, to help to take attacks out of it. Just a whole bunch of things. He just watches over us. Verse 2. Now he's talking, and he says, open ye the gates. The gates to what? The gates to the city. The city that is there when you see it, when you enter the praise. Open ye the gates. Now, why would you open the gates to a walled city? You want to keep out the enemy, right? Doesn't work like that. Open ye the gates, that the righteous nation, which keeps the truth, may enter in. So he's welcoming in all his people. You just come on in. Now, in view of politics these days, it's like saying, well, you can't let in everybody. But Jesus lets in everybody. But he lets in everybody that is saved. What about the ones that aren't? The ones that don't want to come in. Big difference. The ones that aren't saved don't want to come into the city of God. Why? Because they don't want to praise God. It all starts with praising God. And he says, I've made a place for you, not just for you personally, but you in the context of people around you. If you don't have family and friends, it doesn't matter, because I'm giving you family and friends. Not to turn away from the old ones, but I'm augmenting. I'm giving you more. I'm giving you more people to support you and to encourage you and to help you. I'm giving you spiritual parents. I'm giving you spiritual brothers and sisters. Open ye the gates, that the righteous nation, which keeps the truth, may enter in. Open the doors so that those people can come in. Everybody else can't come in. They can't find the door and they're not interested. Verse 3. Thou will keep him in perfect peace. This is the punchline. Thou will keep him in perfect peace. Is there another kind? Yes. There's the fool's peace. I don't see it, so I don't worry about it. Well, it's going to bite you sooner or later. And then there's the imperfect peace. I'm in Jesus. And then you look over here and you say, oh, but there's that problem. But I come back and I get focused on Jesus. And I say, yeah, but what about that? And then you're going back and forth, bouncing back and forth like ping pong. But perfect peace is focusing on Jesus. And that's what you see. That's the perfect peace of God. I used to have a daytime where I spoke about this a long time ago. And he used to say, obstacles are what we see when we take our eyes off the objective. I prefer to think in the Christian context. Obstacles are what we see when we take our eyes off of Jesus. Then we see problems. But when you're looking at Jesus, you don't see problems. Why don't you see problems when you see Jesus? Is that just saying that you're hiding your head? No, it's not. Because when you look at Jesus, the problems disappear. literally disappear. Why is that? Because there is no problem that Jesus isn't big enough to take out of the way. There's no problem big enough. So if he can take care of every problem you can imagine, if I'm looking at him, he's going to take me through it. I don't have to focus on it. All I can do is focus on him, and he's going to take me through. It's like Jesus said. He said, to be a good cheer. I've overcome the world. I've overcome. So why does he say, so be of good cheer? Because if I'm in Jesus, I will overcome the world. He will give me what I need. It's interesting. The central problem here is the primary problem. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and the tree and the tree of life. Okay. So Adam and Eve ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. First thing that happened, they had a sense of self. Selfishness entered into the world. It's like I became aware of me. Okay, so I got to take care of me. That's where all the sin came into. It's like, do I want what's good, or do I want what I want, even if it's not good? That was the problem. And we go to that tree all the time. Oh no, I don't. Yes, I do. Why do I go to the tree all the time? Because I'm always looking for knowledge. Well, I want to know why this happened, or I want to know what's going on, because I always think if I know just a little bit more, I can control the situation. I can fix the situation. But the problem is you never know what God knows, so you'll never be able to fix it proper.
Amen.
But try telling yourself that. But if I know just a little bit more, just a little bit more, that's the enemy. He's sitting in his van, he's saying, hey, I have a chocolate for you. The chocolate is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you can just get to know a little bit more, you can control your circumstance. Alive from the pit of hell. You can't control anything. God knows. And so I can get a shortcut by going to the tree of life. Because when I look at Jesus, he says, don't worry about all that stuff. I'm going to take you right through. Which is better? Focus on the tree of life. Go to the tree of life. Don't go to the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That just takes you down a drain. And you can't climb back out. But you can go to the tree of life. It's the shortcut. I go right to the peace. Everything I'm trying to get on my own, all I got to do is trust it into the hands of Jesus, and he takes me through. I will keep him in perfect peace. That's a beautiful thing. When I stay in his presence, there's going to be stuff coming out of me left, right, front, back, top, bottom, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because he keeps me in perfect peace. And I know I'm in his presence because I have that perfect peace. Now, as soon as I start getting angry, as soon as I start getting nervous, fearful, I get anxiety, that's telling me I left his peace. And I'm focused in the wrong place. So, but the good news is all I got to do is just refocus. Jesus, I'm sorry. I'm looking in the wrong place. Help me. And then the peace comes back. Keep focused on Jesus. I'll keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. You got to stay focused there. And like I said, as soon as you feel something else, get back into that place. I will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusts in thee. It's not a matter of focusing at a picture in your mind or on the wall. It's focusing on Jesus as a person, talking to him about how you feel. You got anxious? He wants to hear about how you're anxious about something, how you're angry about something, how you want revenge. He can get that out of you. But you got to give it to him. You got to tell him about it first. But we have to keep our mind stayed on him. Like I said, we have to keep our mind focused on Jesus. It's like, okay, Jesus, I'm not in the right place here. And I'm looking in the wrong place. And I'm feeling the wrong way about it. I need you to help me out of that hole. And he will. But don't go back to the same hole after he pulled you out of it. That's not going to be helpful. Because he trusts in thee. And that's what it's all about. Is I'm looking at Jesus because I have to trust Jesus. If I don't trust him, I'm not going to be looking for him to do anything for me. I have to trust that he's real and that he is all-powerful.
Amen.
And when I know that he loves me so much that he died on the cross for me, It's like, okay, is there any good reason not to? Nope. So I can trust him. I can believe him. But I got to give up my right to myself, my right to decisions, because that's the only way he can take me through. He can't take me through if he's negotiating with me all the time as to whether I'm with the program or not. Verse 4. Trust ye in the Lord forever. That means not just until you die. That doesn't mean after you die. But it means every moment of every day. Forever. He's saying just get with the program. Now, the trick here is getting with the program. Because we sometimes, wear our Christianity like measles. It's in spots here and there. But he wants us all the time. So it's a little bit trickier at the front than it is at the back. Because the more you do it, the more it becomes a part of your life. Some may say it's habitual, but it's not habitual. Because a habit is something you do without thinking all the time. This is you doing it on purpose. But it becomes easier and more natural to do it on purpose the more you do it. Trust ye in the Lord forever. For in the Lord Jehovah is everlasting strength. Every one of us here. I don't think there's anybody here. Maybe not the children, but I don't think there's any adult here that can't say there's days when you just say, I'm burnt out. I'm done. Stick a fork in me. And he said, okay, that's exactly the right time to come to me. Because there's nothing left to you. But there's no end to what Jesus has for you by way of strength. And it all starts with one place, spiritual strength. Because if you don't have the spiritual strength, you don't have the emotional strength. And if you don't have the emotional strength, you're going to give up even though you have more strength than what you think. So it all comes back to the first place. Where are you focused? The saints, the people that labor in the Word, the people that labor in ministry, they get tired like everybody else. My wife can testify to that. I can testify to that. But that's when it's especially important that you have to get back into the presence of God. The only way that you can put back in what you lost is by getting back into the presence of God. To draw on the strength of God, be able to receive what you already gave. Remember, Jesus said, given it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over shall men pour into your bosom. And so we have to go back to the source and say, God, I need your strength. The curious thing is, he doesn't just give you what you lost, he gives you more. It's just like bodybuilding. You start at one place, but where you end is not where you began. He builds us up. He strengthens us. So we can do more. We can do more in the Holy Spirit. So we can take more in the Holy Spirit. We can take burdens that other people say, I could never go through that. The fact is, every one of us, God will bring us through things that other people always say, I couldn't do that. I couldn't take it. But he gave it to you because you can handle it, and the other people can't. But it's okay. That's not for us to cry about it. It's for us to glorify God and how he's taken us through, how he blesses us, watches over us, takes care of us, ministers to us, matures us, encourages us, and brings us to a higher level. And that's my message today.